As part of efforts to improve emergency response to vulnerable Nigerians in times of disaster, the National Emergency Management Agency has restated its commitment to ensuring equitable distribution of aid and supplies in crisis situations. This was as the agency marked the International Day for Disaster Risk Reduction in Abuja with the theme Fighting Inequality for Resilient Future. The agency's Director General, Mustapha Habib Ahmed, who praised the efforts of the agency so far, says effective management of disaster could ensure a resilient society where victims can easily recover and get their lives back on track.
With concerted efforts and awareness creation, we can curb the destructive powers of both nature and human-induced disaster. Through careful planning to reduce people's exposure and vulnerability to harm. The Sendai framework for DRR calls for more dedication action on tackling underlying disaster risk drivers such as poverty and inequality. Disaster risk reduction requires a society-wide engagement and partnership. It also requires empowerment and inclusive, accessible, and non-discriminatory participation. Exclusive care is granted to women, children, the elderly, and persons living with disabilities. The gender unit, the vulnerable care unit, and food and nutrition unit were all created and mandated with the responsibilities to ensure that equality and addressing the challenges faced by vulnerable groups in disaster risk management programs is safeguarded. Under out IDP camp management policies, while supporting state governments, NEMA ensures that persons with special needs, including lactating women, children, the elderly persons with disabilities, are granted the special care they deserve. We have not reached all our targets of paradigm shift away from disaster response to disaster risk reduction. Yet it is a work in progress, and we are confident to reach the vision, especially with the concerted support of all our partners here present. On this note, I urge all our stakeholders to join the conversation and promote the fight against inequality in order to build a resilient future for our country.
Disaster risk reduction relies on collaboration and synergy within the philosophy of leaving no one behind. DRR is an inclusive approach that facilitates the realization of the vision propounded by great DRR thinkers for disaster risk management to grow in bounds and lives globally. Even inequality among countries and small island states cannot constitute an hindrance to this noble global initiative to uplift developing countries and human family. This underscores the importance of the theme of this year, which is fighting inequality for the resilience of the future. As we have been collaborating together over the years, it has become more compelling to strengthen the synergy in order to collectively fight inequality. Considering that 2030 is fastly approaching, a timeline for the actualization of Sustainable Development Goal. Goal 10 specifically deals with reducing inequality. 2030 is also the year, the timeline for disaster risk reduction that has been directed through the Sendai framework, that countries should take active measures to ensure actualization of the intent of Sendai framework.
Women, children, marginalized communities often face disproportionately challenges in adapting to and recovering from these disasters because of there isn't any resilience, nothing to pad them from what they've been going through. Therefore, it is incumbent upon us to bridge these gaps and build resilience that leaves no one behind. To combat the adverse effect of extreme weather events on our food system, we must prioritize inclusive and sustainable agricultural practices, and also the support that comes has to go to the last mile. So without taking too much of your time, Collaboration is the key word. We cannot do it alone. So the collaboration and synergies, so that whatever resources we have can go very far, can take us faster and further. And with that, I would like to say that my ministry is ready to collaborate with all the key stakeholders to ensure that we come out of this and strive so that we can be on a trajectory to be able to meet the SDGs.